Greetings, adventurers, travelers, and fellow keepers of the lake. How are you all doing? Welcome. This little booklet started the sequence of events that is responsible for all of this happening. So this was a little trip log from the game world, covered in dirt and printed out nicely. This is the first handout that I ever got. So since these can be so transformational, let's do a video series where we're gonna go through everything that I've tried so far, starting with this one, which will contain the easiest and most affordable tricks you can use. And we're gonna ramp it up little by little, finishing with some insane ideas from the last couple of sessions. So roll the intro and I will meet you in the wonderful and magical Barlow Keep Emporium. Welcome to the Barlow Keep Magical Emporium. Yes, I am in a costume, and this is my festival outfit, as you've seen in the weather video, but I'm gonna use it to demonstrate how little is needed to actually stand out and do something that people will remember. I'm sure that no one else is doing a prop video dressed like this, right? Okay, so let's start. The easiest thing, I think, to actually get people in the mood when you're playing a game, especially if you're playing a lot of different games, is to have special decorations for each of those. So you've seen from my community posts or maybe from the Discord server, yes, we have a Discord server now. If you want to join, that would be amazing. We're trying to foster a special community of creators and creative people that are into history, art, philosophy, writing, movies, books. If that sounds interesting, I will be probably posting every new thing that I do, some behind the scenes and stuff, in that Discord server. There is a lot of small things that you can do to decorate your table that don't really need that much effort. So the first thing I do is I cover the table with something like this or something like this. Both of these are very different and they have special vibes tied to them. You can see this is somewhat more of magical type of atmosphere, while this is more of a shamanic type of thing maybe. Both can be found for less than $10 up to $15 on eBay or Amazon or whatever. So what I do is I always cover the table with these, and over time people start connecting a certain cover with a certain type of game. So when we are playing fantasy, I would use this one. When we are playing some other type of fantasy, I would use another one. I have a blue one. You saw it in other videos, surely. So when you do it for the first time, players will be like, oh, nice, you've done something different. We dig this. And then as you are playing, if you stop doing that at one point, everyone will say, but where is our special cover for the table? We're playing this game. Or if you mix them up, if one is being washed and you use another one, people will genuinely come and ask where is the thing we usually use? They start associating it with the game, they start associating it with their character and with themselves role-playing that character. Isn't that neat? So the next thing, I think every player should have their own little thing, their own little place where they keep their dice and pens. And for our first campaign where I had 3 players, I created 3 of these small dice holders. I'm not saying that you should create them. You can use anything. For example, okay, these ones are crafted specially for that one campaign and are for fantasy. But for example, for Call of Cthulhu, we use what are these, mugs? Little mugs? So look how nice they look. I just stole them from my grandma, and you can place your dice in there. So let's say you're playing a modern game, you're playing something industrial. For those, I would use just little cardboard boxes. Something, for example, that IKEA would bring some screws and tools in. That really communicates industrialism to me. And you can place your dice and your pens inside. Pretty good stuff. But what about if you're in a noir or a modern game where people are drinking a lot of whiskey, there is a lot of bar talk, maybe some investigations? Well, why not exactly that? A whiskey glass with some dice inside serves the purpose. If you have whiskey glasses in your home, you don't have to buy anything extra, so it's basically free, and it looks so nice that you actually have an urge to try and drink it. So there will be the cover. Each of the players will have their character sheet. Next to the character sheet, they will have their dice tray thingies. And when they sit down, what is the first thing that they're gonna notice? well, they're not gonna notice your DM screen. So if you're a person who plays with a regular sized DM screen, make sure you have like variations for each of the games. And not really each of the games, but each of the settings. I usually use the time period as the dividers, so I have one for medieval fantasy and like everything that's happening in medieval times. I have one for the modern-ish setting, and I have one for the futuristic or industrial setting. This one is for futuristic and industrial type of thing. Well, this one is more like for Call of Cthulhu and that sort of stuff. And this would be my fantasy one, the first one I ever crafted. Now, you don't need to craft them. Take some cardboard, tape it together in the shape of a DM screen. You can find sizes of DM screens online as well. I will put some in the description. So you just make cutouts, print something onto them, or just like print it on paper and just glue it onto the cardboard. Just be sure to make it fit the theme. Just do the minimal bare bones thing and it will still make a world of difference to the players that will be actually watching that instead of the D&D screen that you got years ago and are now using even for other games that are thematically not really going well with that one. I know, I've been there. So, okay, now you have everything set up. So another thing that I usually do is I put some pictures on the walls, or if I have some lamps that are thematically appropriate. If I have a lamp that is not going to burn the fabrics, I put some fabric on top of it. If we're playing a fantasy game, I would like it to have more of a greenish tint. Maybe if we are playing Call of Cthulhu, I would have like a corkboard where you can attach like the clues you find. So small things like that. Also, any garbage you find in your home, like for example, this mushroom thing. I remember someone gave this mushroom thing to me, but I don't remember from where. I don't know this. I don't know what this is. I have corals. If you're playing a session that is going to have some interaction with the sea, why not? Put the coral on the table. Even when you're looking around the house and you see like some different objects. For example, this is a souvenir. Perfect thing for Call of Cthulhu to just put it on the table and it adds to the atmosphere. Old clocks are always cool. Even like ashtrays. If you have a thematic ashtray, for example, this one I made from wood glue and toilet paper and just like covered it with some fake grass and colored it brown. And it looks horrible in real life, but it adds to the thematic like feeling of the whole game. But yeah, if you see some objects in your house and you don't really know if they would fit or not. For example, I have this handpan type of thing. So what can I do with this? Well, I can put it on the table and I can say that there is an NPC that only communicates with these sounds. Or even better, I can say that there is a puzzle and a door is only open if you play a certain song on this. Which song? I don't know. I would give it to my players and just say, play something nice, and if they manage to do it, then the door would open. Maybe I wouldn't even say anything. Maybe I would just say, like, you feel some energy around it, and when they start playing with it, something would happen. So I would say that is it in terms of decoration. And of course, you can go all out. You can decorate the character sheets to look differently. You can use colored lighting. You can cover the floor with hay or something. I don't know. Do whatever feels right. And my message here is that it doesn't take a lot of work to make your players feel like something special is happening. Your table is your stage, and when people come to your place and they sit down, of course, they will get into the game and they will forget the real world. And surely you will make everything neat and tidy, and they will come and just put their phones and their drinks and snacks on the table and they will ruin everything. And it might seem like they don't care, but trust me, they do. And having that stage already set up, like it is in theaters, like you see that first scene when you're coming in and settling down. I think that adds a lot. That commitment adds a lot. People feel that commitment. People grow to love it. And that is just wonderful. But let's make a little shift now and go and talk about the players. To do that, let me start with the small stories. So you remember that small booklet that my first DM gave to me? It showed me that things from the game can be real. And what I did was I went to our local eBay alternative and I ordered what I thought was a lute. Turns out it was... Oops. It was a mandolin, and not this one in particular, the other one that is in my flat, but like I bought this just so I can have it as a bard in my game, and I started to love it. I started to play it and really enjoy it, so I bought another one, this one, but this one is not really playable. It's more of like a souvenir, that's why it's on the shelf. But yeah, I started learning songs, and I was really playing when I cast Bardic Inspiration. I'm not saying that you should buy an instrument and learn to play it. I'm just saying that handouts are very powerful. It really changed how I look at the game itself. And then I realized, like, DMs shouldn't be the only ones that are responsible for merging the two worlds together. Players can do it too. So for our next campaign that we played, I made this thing. This was everything I needed for my character, and it was nothing special. A little box that I put some rope on, colored it, made like a triangle. And as you can see, this box contains my dice, my pen and eraser, and some props and my notebook, which is also my character sheet. We stopped using regular character sheets long ago for these long-lasting campaigns. You always need a notebook, right? So yeah, I printed out my character sheet that I made in like paint or something, and I glued it into this notebook. So the whole build, the whole thing took me, I don't know, maybe 1, 2, 3 days. Who cares? Because this box then represents your character. It represents the ritualistic start of the session when you're opening this up and you're taking out your things and like arranging them on the table in front of you. That ritualistic thing that you do is what gives even more immersion and fidelity to the whole act of becoming that character. It's amazing stuff. And it really doesn't take a lot. You don't need to do all these decorations. You can choose how much time you want to dedicate into it. So there you go. That would be the first video in the series. I'm expecting there to be 3, maybe less, maybe more, we will see. If you're enjoying this type of content and you want to be notified whenever there is something new happening, consider subscribing, and please consider joining our Discord. That's where I want the magic to happen. Come, let's collaborate, let's make stuff together, let's publish things. So yeah, I'm gonna go and clean up the Magic Barlow Keep Prop Emporium, and with that, I bid you farewell.